Hello, everyone. Today we will quickly go through a series of questions to solve and to enhance our understanding of how relational databases works in general and Microsoft Access in particular. Let's start. We have this information, questions following the sample information kept by a library for the books that it ordered from the juvenile collection. So it has ISBN title, vendor, publisher name, distributor, and vendor code, and also so on. So the question they are asking is, use the template, this template, design a table that will contain all the information related to the vendors that requires books from. So that is the template. And we have to design a table, the vendors. So the field name, vendor. So we will get this information from this table. So vendor code, we have vendor publisher name, phone number, distributor. So these are the vendor code is basically 3 digits, and vendor published 50 and 15 for the phone number, and this. And these are the related information description of these fields. The illustration of the above table. Let's go. This is from the Microsoft Access vendors table. So these are the 4 vendors we identify from this table. 1, 2, 3, 4. HBG has multiple orders. Okay, so we have these 4 vendors and the phone number, and then we can look at the same information in Microsoft Access. So here we have this information stored, and we can look see the table in design view also. In the design, you see vendor code, the field properties 3, and the format is caps. And this one is vendor name, phone number, and this distribution. One thing I would like to more elaborate further is phone number is basically 15 characters, and it has specific input mask. Means that when we enter the information, it will show up in a certain format for easy reading, for ergonomic reading. Okay, let's see that it is. See this how these phone numbers look like, where they have brackets and all that. Okay, so that we have, and now let's go back to the with screen to go to the question number 2. So we have all these questions. The question number 2, they are asking using the order below, orders table below, as well as table you designed in the question number 1. Answer the following. ISBN, and question what they're asking. Answer the following question. Is the field size for ISBN is correct? Is the data type for the book price is correct? And what data I should select for the copies ordered, and primary key, what would be the primary key, and what would be the foreign key in this table. So here you see vendor code would be a primary key. ISBN number, they're giving 10. Let's go back to the main table. So these are 13 digits, so it should not be 10, but 13. Okay, so these should be field size should be 13. So answer would be should be 13. Book price should be stored in currency data type. So it should not be number, but currency. We show the dollar value, dollar sign with that. Copies ordered should be number data type. Okay. Purchase order number field should be used as a primary key. Let's go back to the main table. Purchase order number. Yeah, this is because it uniquely identify the purchase order. So it will be a primary key. Fund code and vendor code. These fields will be used to link order table to the book budget table and vendor table. So these fund code and vendor code are the primary keys. Fund code and the vendor code, both of these two are primary keys. Okay, that we answered that. Let's go to the next question. In the MS Access, create a selectors table, exact structure shown below. Selector ID is branch, last name, first name, and then add the following data into the table. Primary key here would be selector ID. If we go above, it's a different question. Selectors table. So we have to create basically a selectors table in Microsoft Access. Selector table primary key would be selector ID, and the information is here. We can see that information also in the Microsoft Access. Let's go to the this is selectors table, main branch, and if we go to design view, you can see selector ID, last name, first name, branch. Selector ID is 3, last name, first name are 50, and branch. We are using the exact structure as asked here. Go back to the other screen. Okay, so we created this table also. Let's go to the next question. In MS Access, create a book budget table. So in the book budget table, there you will need to determine the primary key and add any missing information. Primary key, budget fund name, fund code, percentage table, fund allocation, data type, short text field, 9, fund code, percentage of percent of total budget, fund allocation. So basically here fund code would be the primary key, and we need to add the following information into the book budget table. Let's see below. We have this information added into the budget table. Basically here it shows its older picture, but I have updated that into Microsoft Access book budget table. I will show that in a moment. Let's go to the book budget table in Microsoft Access. Here is a book budget table. The book budget table have these fund code is a primary key, fund name is this, percentage of budget. This is the information. And then here we have, you see that selectors Name is not here, only the ID is here. So it will be related to the selectors table. And uh, let's go back to the main screen. So we have created that table and see what they're asking further. We have created last question. Question was create a relationship between fund and selector table by joining relevant fields. And the purpose of the query is to show fund allocation for each selector of each library. Okay. So here we have fund allocation by each selector. Fund code, and because you see in the funds table or book budget table, we have a selector ID, right? And if we run this, we'll have this information. Let's go back to Microsoft Access database and give you an overview of how it works, actually. So here we can go to the queries. Okay. Okay, let's run. Let me close this one also. So here we have a question which they were asking here. How much funds for each library by each selector. So here we have selector Dhaliwal, last name. Mrita Dhaliwal has $60,000 for Windfall Library FA. This Kyle has this. And if we design view, you see that we have linked these two tables, and we got first name, last name, fund allocation. We have a sum query grouped by branch, right? So group by branch, and these two fields summarized by fund allocation. How much some funds allocated to each branch by each selector. Okay, that is the answer for question number 4. Let's go back to the our previous screen. So that's how we solve it. That's the end of this short overview, which was presented to enhance your understanding about relational database and how Microsoft Access works and store the information. Thank you, everyone. And I hope everyone enjoys this video.